Well, hello everybody. Welcome to Vinyl Treasures. I'm your host, Johnny G. John Galindo, coming to you live each and every Monday night, only here on Oldies and More Radio. I want to welcome you to the April 4th, 2022 All 60's edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. I spin my original vinyl 45s every Monday from 8 to 11 p.m. right here on Oldies and More Radio. Also broadcast live simultaneously on YouTube. You can go to Vinyl Treasures, Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show on YouTube, where you can view all these cool looking 45s. They're cool labels. And we opened up on the out of Los Angeles, California, on the Entree record label, Joyce Bennett's Entree Records. Actually, it's out of Las Vegas, Nevada. And that group called the Blockbusters, I think they're the same group that recorded on the Antler label, if I'm not mistaken. I have a couple releases by the Blockbusters. I thought they were kind of like a rock and roll group, and they probably did instrumentals like that one there from October 64. The Blockbusters with the Gorilla Walk. That was the name of the tune. The Gorilla Walk from October 64 on the Entree record label. Well, enough of my babbling here. Let's kick it off with the vocal portion. And I like this record. My aunt bought this 45 when it came out. Originally, his real name is Leonard Borisov, but you know him as Mr. Len Barry. He had a big hit on Decca Records. Of course, he was the lead singer of the Dovells, but he moved over to solo career, went over to Decca Records, and had a big hit with 1, 2, 3. This is his fifth of 7 on Decca. This charted number 11 on WGH in Newport News, Virginia. The tune written by David White, Johnny Madera, Leon Huff, and the singer, Mr. Len Barry. May 1966. Nice weather today, and Len Barry's on the Decca record label is singing about It's That Time of the Year.
It's that time of the year. Summertime's almost here. Happiness is around the corner. It's that time of the year. Days of fun, nights with you, yeah. Nothing special to do. Laziness is an epidemic. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the year. Sunshine every day. Take your cares away. Let's spend every day together. Yeah. We've been waiting so long, child, for this season to come. All the world is a lover's playground. It's that time of the year. It's that time of the It's that time of the year. Summertime's almost here. Happiness is around the corner. It's that time of the year. Come on, tell 'em about it now. It's that time of the year. Every night underneath the stars. It's that time of the year. Every day in convertible cars. It's that time of the year. On what condition will mama's permission? It's that time. Oh, I'll take you up and down the boardwalk with small talk. It's that time of the year. I'm in love with happiness as a guide, yeah. Oh, baby, ain't it nice outside?
Yeah, we open up the vocal portion there with Mr. Len Barry out of Philadelphia there. Len Barry on the Decca label, his fifth of 7 A song entitled It's That Time of the Year came out in May of 1966, almost that time of the year, as the weather's going to start getting really nice. I think snow is finally out of the forecast, at least here in New York City. I think we can safely say that. Although it is, this month is kind of, you don't never know with the month of April. But as soon as we get into May, it's going to be a lot better. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and we go to the Rust record label for this next 45. And this group is out of East Patterson, New Jersey. And both sides of this 45 give a writer credit to Vic Piscatello, I guess that's his name, but I bet you he's the lead singer of this group. But they have a later release on the Fontana record label. The group is called the Young Enterprise. It's from October 1966. It's on Rust Records, and their tune is called Think I'm Gonna Make It. That group called the Young Enterprise. Young Enterprise, that's on the Rust record label. That's the label, one of the thousands of labels that Johnny G collects. Rust Records there, October 1966. Think I'm Gonna Make It is the name of the tune. Johnny G almost didn't make it, just rushing to get everything done, Zelda. Lots of things go involved. I try to do a post. I do label scans. Charlene sends me the research. I have to line up the records. I kind of program them really quick. Lots of things to do, but let's continue here on the All 60s edition. How many of you out there are Dolly Parton fans? Now, she went country. When did she go country? Maybe 1967, maybe? I don't know, maybe 67, 66, maybe. No, it wasn't in 66 because she was still doing some pretty cool tunes. Well, she always does cool tunes, but on the country side. But I like her early stuff, Dolly Parton's early stuff. and but she's mainly known for her country releases. But earlier in her career, many of her tunes crossed over into the pop vein, and she first recorded, believe it or not, back in 1959 for Gold Band Records. That goes for a lot of money, that 45. I don't have it. The one on Mercury, I don't even think I have the one. Maybe I do have the one on Mercury, but I want the promo. I don't want the styrene, or maybe I don't. I have to check it out. I got so many records I don't remember. But in 1965, she signed with Monument Records for 9 releases. This is her third. And again, when I see records arranged, produced, or written by Ray Stevens, I'm going to buy the 45 more than likely. And this actually charted regionally. This charted number 20 on KAYC in Beaumont, Texas. Bobby in Texas, is that by you? Beaumont, Texas? I don't know where in the vicinity of, maybe by Charlene. No, maybe it's up north. I don't know. But anyway, let's go here. December 1965. I like this song by her. Dolly Parton on the Monument label. And the tune is called Busy Signal. We're going to send this out to Peter. Peter, if you're tuned in. This is for Peter. Busy Signal.
Busy signal, that's what I get when I call you. Busy, talking to someone new. I wish I knew. I shouldn't worry 'cause it's probably his mother. Or then again it could even be his little brother on the line, making me lose my mind. I'm sorry. When I said I didn't care, I didn't mean what I said, talking out of my head. I've got to reach him now and tell him that I love him, and from now on I'll stay right by his side and love him all the time. So please somebody quit tying up the line.
Yeah, that's Miss Dolly Parton there. I like that record there. Andrew has that 45 also. I think it's a cool tune, Miss Dolly Parton there, December 1965 release. It's on the Monument record label. That is her third of 9 on Monument. Song entitled Busy Signal. She's got another good one too, by the way, that I do have. I have featured it here before. It's called Don't Drop Out. And I have another one. I think I might have just about all her releases on the Monument label. Then I ran the RCA stuff because, I got it for a song and a dance, but I don't play those country records. I could probably do a pretty good country show. Yeah, but do I like country? I don't know. I don't know about 70s country. But anyway, not to get anybody upset, but let's continue here. Let's go to Chicago up next. I love this next artist. He's got so many great records. His real name is Eugene Dixon, but he's better known as Mr. Gene Chandler. Recorded on many different labels through his career and through the decades. Lots of great group records in the early 1960s and also lots of soul records. Now here's one on the Constellation. He does quite a few on Constellation. Some are in demand. I don't think this one is in demand. I'm not sure because I do have he has 17 on Constellation. Let's give a listen to his 5th. This one written by Billy Butler, produced by Bill Shepard, arranged by Johnny Pate. Those are all names for you collectors out there. If you see them on the label, you might want to buy the 45. But this is from June 64. Give a listen to Mr. Gene Chandler on Constellation, and the tune is called A Song Called Soul.
Was walking along, I heard an old man just singing a song. I said, hey, mister, what's that you singing? Hey, mister, could I be dreaming? The sounds I hear are sweet and clear, and I was told that it sounds like a soul. So I just kept walking along my way, just walking along. I heard a girl singing that very same day. I said, hey girl, what's that you're singing? Hey girl, could I be dreaming? She began to sing, and if anything, my heart stopped cold, 'cause it sounds like a soul, 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 soul. Won't somebody please teach this song to me? Won't somebody show me how to hum a sweet melody? And if they do, how happy I will be. The music will flow like a sweet symphony. Yeah, 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 yeah. So I just keep on walking along, listening this tune and singing my song. They'll say, hey, mister, what's that you're singing? Hey, mister, could I be dreaming? The sounds I hear are sweet and clear, and they'll be told it's a song called soul. You got some soul, I got some soul. Everybody got a taste of soul now.
That's Mr. Gene Chandler. Gene Chandler, that's his 5th of 17 releases on the Constellation record label. June 64 release. A Song Called Soul is the name of the tune. Lots of the flip sides are also excellent on the Gene Chandler 45s, and also then he went to Mercury. I remember I bought the 45 when it came out. Do many of you know the song called The Groovy Situation? That is a great record. He's got others also that are pretty good on the Mercury label. Let's continue here now. This next singer, or the lead singer of this next group, he was a lead singer of the Five Satins. His name is Fred Paris. Actually, just recently, not too long ago, passed away, unfortunately. But he gave us lots of cool 50s releases with his groups, the Scarlets and the Five Satins. Then in 1965, he formed a new group. They were known as the Restless Hearts. They had releases on Green Sea, Checker, and also Atco Records. Let's give a listen to his second on the Green Sea label. There are 2 releases on Green Sea. Both are excellent. And this is his second one. Fred Paris wrote the tune, he produced it, and this charted locally. This was a number 11 record on WAVZ. If you were listening in New Haven, Connecticut, we go back to February 1967 for Fred Paris and the Restless Hearts. It's on Green Sea Records. It's called I'll Be Hanging On.
I know I'm gonna really turn it on. I can tell by the things that you do. Cheating on me, baby. You found another lover, but I'm hanging on.
yeah, yeah. But I can't go on without you. That's why I'm hanging on.
You'll be a happy boy if you will see it through. She's found another, and
but I don't want
you can do it too. Things will be brighter in the morning, so don't you hang on.
I got to hang on, baby. Oh, I'm sorry that I met you, and I wish I could forget you, but I know my heart won't let me. That's why I'm hanging on. Oh, I got to find a new love.
You've got to find a true love, and in just a while she'll wipe away your tears, and in the coming years, just a little kiss and just a little rock and just a little streams and just a little love, you will learn to smile.
So, baby, if you wake up
Early in the morning,
you decide you wanna make
get
a
home to daddy.
well, don't you hesitate, 'cause I'll be hanging on.
Try to remember everything has to have an end. Even your heartaches will be turned
Will
into
my
joy again. Don't you worry, please don't worry. You'll go out and you'll find love. Take this advice. I had you right, but don't hang on. Let it go.
That's the sound of Fred Paris with The Restless Heart, song he wrote. Second of two, came out on the Green Sea record label February 67. I'll Be Hanging On is the name of the tune. Well, Fred Paris, an artist that goes back to the 1950s. So do these gals from Passaic, New Jersey. Their first release came out on the Tiara label in 1958, was then picked up by Decca Records. You may know the song called I Met Him on a Sunday. I'm talking about the Shirelles. They had a big #1 hit in 1960 with Will You Love Me Tomorrow on the Scepter record label. Here is a later Scepter release from June of 1967. Features Shirley Alston Reeves on lead. This one on Scepter Records. We go back to June 67. These are the Shirelles. It's called Last Minute Miracle.
my heart in danger. All hope's fading away.
Andrew Turner in our YouTube chat room tells Johnny G that this gets some northern play up in the in England in those northern soul clubs. Even here in the U.S., we have cool dance clubs that play this type of dance music. It's got a certain beat to do that dance to it. You can check it out. You can call up Northern Soul on YouTube and you can see them dancing to this type of beat. It's actually pretty cool. I like to dance with a partner, and they normally don't dance with a partner, but you could. But those are the Shirelles. I neglected to say that this was a number 7 record on WWJOT in in Lake City, not Salt Lake City, in Lake City, South Carolina. Those are the Shirelles. Shirley Alston Reeves on lead, June 1967. Last Minute Miracle is the name of the tune. They have other releases on other labels, Bell Records and Blue Rock and RCA and also United Artists Records. Great group, the Shirelles. Let's continue now. And this next group, originally from Canton, Ohio, I think I forgot what record I played last week by this group, Charlene, if I'm losing my mind. But the group originally recorded as the Mascots on the King label. Then in 1961, they changed their name to the OJs. They had 14 releases on the Imperial label. Let's give a listen to their 4th. And again, this one produced and arranged by a producer and arranger that I look for and writer. His name is H.B. Barnum. And this charted number 9 on KGFJ. If you were listening to that station out in Los Angeles, California. This one from October 64, the Great OJs with William Powell. He's the lead singer on this one. It's called Oh, How You Hurt Me.
You done it again. This time I can't hide it from my friends. I guess it was meant this way. I guess it was destiny. Oh, how you hurt me, girl. Oh, girl. Wish I knew just where I stood. I wouldn't cry even though I could. I guess I'll just be your man. I guess it was meant this way now. Oh, how you hurt me, girl. Oh, girl. Now I love you like I love no one else, but never, no, never again now. Just myself. I guess I'll just be your man. I guess it was meant this way now. Oh, how you hurt me, baby. Hey, girl. Oh, girl. How you hurt me, baby. Now,
That's the sound of the OJs here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. The OJs there from October 1964. That's their 4th single on the Imperial record label. William Powell, he's doing lead on that tune. It's called Oh, How You Hurt Me. As we continue here, now up next, a cover tune. And this song was first done, when you hear it, I'm sure you're going to say, wait a minute, Herman's Hermits does that song. That is correct, because Herman's Hermits first recorded this next song. It then became I think the next release was the B-side to one of the Foundation's minor hits on Uni Records. I think on the A-side was called Back on My Feet Again. They also recorded this as the B-side of that. That was in February 68. Now, 2 months later, it was covered by this singer in March of 1968, and best known as a creative mind behind Houston's #1 soul band from the late 1960s known as the Soul Brothers, Inc., where he played flute and saxophone and sang on many of the releases for the band's own SBI record label. But his name is Henry Boatwright, and this charted number 63 on KAYC in Beaumont, Texas. And let's give it a spin here. March 1968, Mr. Henry Boatwright on the Capitol record label, and his rendition of the Hermits song, I Can Take or Leave Your Lovin'.
Can never be the same way again. Oh, I won't miss her. Well, maybe just once in a while. She thinks I'm gonna cry now that she said goodbye, but she's so wrong, 'cause I'll just smile. Baby, baby, don't you believe it when it comes to your love, and I can take it or leave it. Baby, baby, don't you believe it when it comes to your love, and I can take it or leave it. I can take or leave your love, I can take or leave your love. I'm not sorry, I still think we're better apart. She thinks she's gonna see a day when there's gonna be a change of heart. No, 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 baby, baby, don't you believe it when it comes to your love, and I can take it or leave it. Baby, baby, don't you believe it when it comes to your love, and I can take it or leave it. I can take or leave your love, I can take or leave your love, baby. Don't you believe it when it comes to your love, and I can take it or leave it, baby. Don't you believe it when it comes to your love, and I can take it or leave it. I can take or leave your love, I can take or leave your love, baby. I can take or leave your love, 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 I can take or leave your love.
Cover tunes here on the All 60s edition. Henry Boatwright's his name. March 1968 release, a cover of the Hermits tune, I Can Take or Leave Your Lovin'. That one there came out on the Capitol record label. We continue here. Let's go back up to Chicago, Illinois. This is the debut single for this group called The Visitors. And the Visitors were Eugene Smiley Sr., Ray Foreman, Wilbur Taylor, Darrell Prince, or I think that's how it is, or Prinrice? Oh, maybe I'm wrong there. Darrell Prinrice. And you collectors out there, you may own this record on the Dakar record label, but it first came out on the Bashy label, and it's kind of tough to find a stock copy of this. You can see the white promos, but not easy to find the stock copy here. But I like this tune here from September 1968. Give a listen to The Visitors. The Visitors, I have it on the Bashy label. It's called I'm in Danger. September 68 release. The group is called The Visitors. The Visitors there came out on the first label is Bashy Records. You can also get this on the Dakar label, but the first press is called on Bashy. It's called I'm in Danger. Johnny G not in danger here, but to those of you tuned in on the Oldies and More Radio Network, and I have to read this program announcement here, or this I guess we can call it this advertisement here, because we normally don't do advertisements here on the Oldies and More Radio Network, but I was told by the program director that I need to say this. I can't play the MP3 because I don't have it, so Johnny G's going to have to read it here, and it's our fundraiser this month, the month of April, so please support us if you can, as Oldies and More Radio brings you the best music from the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, 24/7, 365 days a year. Now, Oldies and More Radio is entirely supported by you, our listeners, and all the disc jockeys like myself and the staff volunteer their time, and our only source of support is donations from our listeners, and we ask that only in 1 month out of the year, that is in the month of October. So donations will pay for the fees for the music we play, along with our website, chat room, hosting, and a rental of our radio server. And at this time, we could accept any donations by either check or money order that can be made payables to Oldies and More and mailed to this address, 165 Colby Avenue in Syracuse, New York. That's 165 Colby Avenue, Syracuse, New York, 13206, or you can go on our webpage at www.oldiesmoreradio.com and pay via PayPal. So any support is welcome, any dollar amount is welcome, and you can send anything. And if you're 100% welcome to listen and join us in the chat room. You don't have to send anything. So it's not really telling you do, it's just out of the goodness of your heart if you do. Especially if you do on behalf of this program. It'd be nice if you say on behalf of Johnny G. That would kind of let the station know Johnny G's doesn't at least an average job on the program. Anyway, but thank you all, and thank you for tuning in to Oldies and More Radio. Let's continue here with more music here. And, we heard from Fred Paris, who was a lead singer of the Five Satins. We heard from the Shirelles, who was also a group from the 1950s, but this group started back in the early 1960s, and they're from the Bronx, New York. They had many cool tunes, came out on the Laurie record label. Many of you know their biggest hit, their first release that came out on the Laurie label. You know the song called He's So Fine? But in all, they had 21 releases on the Laurie label. That was their first, and this is their 14th. And this is a cover song. Actually, this song goes back to 1935, Charlene. This song was done by Lawrence Tibbett back in 1935. But this tune charted number 25 on WKFR in Battle Creek, Michigan. We go back to October 1966. These are the Chiffons of He's So Fine fame. It features Judy Craig on lead on the Laurie label. It's called I Got Plenty O' Nuttin'. The Chiffons.
The folks with plenty of plenty
Yes, Judy Craig and the Chiffons there on the Laurie record label, released in October 1966. That's their 14th release on Laurie Records. I Got Plenty. Oh, it's I Got Plenty. The letter O apostrophe, nuttin' with an N apostrophe. They left off the G on that. Johnny G here on a Monday evening. Thank you all for tuning in to the Vinyl Treasure Show. If you're new to the program, those of you on YouTube, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the bell there to get notifications. You have to be registered on YouTube in order to get instant notifications of when I do a live program. You'll get an email on the email that you're registered with, and it'll go to your phone or go to your it'll go to your email address, and you can just click on and instantaneously join the program. But also simultaneously broadcasting on Monday nights live from 8 to 11 right here on Oldies and More Radio. And let's go to the Atco label for this next singer, as he left us much too early in his life. He was killed in a plane crash on December 10th of 1967, and that plane crashed in Lake, Monona? I think that was in Madison, Wisconsin, during a snowstorm while en route for a concert in Madison, Wisconsin. And all the crew members perished, along with then, at the time, 26-year-old Otis Redding. And all except, I think, 2 members of his backup band survived, the Bar-Kays. They were his backup band. Only 2 survived. But the record... this record that I'm playing was released in 1972. The record that was just released that week, I should say, was The Dock of the Bay, which unfortunately was his only #1 national hit. But Volts, Stax, and Atco continued to release his songs through 1972, and this was his final release that came out on a 45. And I have it on the Atco promo, so I got a stereo version on one side and the mono version on the other. But he does a great rendition on this tune, and this is Mr. Otis Redding, October 1972 release, probably recorded, has to be sometime in 68 or before, and it's on Atco Records, and it's a cover of the Temptations song. This is Otis Redding with his version of My Girl.
I've got the month of May.
Cover tunes here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Mr. Otis Redding. Otis Redding released in October of 1972 on the Atco record label and recorded probably either 1967, 68 before his untimely, horrible plane crash. The song entitled My Girl, the Temptations tune. Let's continue here for Johnny G is good for a hit or two. I think I got 2 hits for tonight, and this is one of them. And I have 2 hits tonight. And this singer actually had 2 big records. This one, I think, was one of his big records, and his other record was a song called, or maybe this was his biggest record, because Do You Want to Dance, I think, was a big record for him nationally also. But that was back in 1958. But we're moving up to May of 1964 for Mr. Bobby Sherman. And this was number 6 on Cashbox and also 6 on Billboard. A big number 1 record out in San Francisco, California, if you tuned in to KYA. And actually, I think there's a clip of the kids on American Bandstand dancing to this record because it's a cool record to dance to. And here, let's give a listen to Bobby Freeman here, May 1964 on the Autumn record label. It's called Come On and Swim.
Come on, everybody, come on in. Bobby's gonna show you how to do the swim. Pretend you're in the water and you go like this. Now baby swim, baby do the swim. Just like the dog, but not so low. Like the hully gully, but not so slow. Now baby swim, baby do the swim. Do what you wanna, do like you wish. Come on baby now and swim like a fish. Now baby swim, baby, come on in. Shake it up, baby, twist and shout. I do the swim, baby, now work it on out. Now, baby, swim, baby, do the swim. Do what you wanna, it's alright. 'Cause Bobby's gonna show you how to swim tonight. Now, baby, swim. Do the dog paddle, baby. Now do the backstroke. I do the swim, baby, now work it on out. Now, baby, swim. Baby, do the swim. Do what you wanna, it's alright. 'Cause Bobby's gonna do the swim for you tonight. Now, baby, swim.
Of course, you know, it's John Ferry's fault that I said Bobby Sherman because he typed in Bobby Sherman in the chat room, so that was on my mind. You know who I meant. That's what happens when you only get 4 hours sleep. Johnny G only gets 4 hours sleep between work, which I'm counting down the days of retirement, which is going to be May 6th officially, but to my last work day will be April 21st. So I am counting the days there. But that's Bobby Freeman. If I said Bobby Sherman, you need to shoot Johnny G, But that's a great tune there. They like the guitar work there in the YouTube chat room. I think it's pretty cool there. And then Sylvester Stewart actually co-wrote that record. You should see them dancing to that on American Bandstand, because there is definitely a certain way to do the swim. But that's May 1964. Bobby Freeman, not Sherman. Bobby Freeman, although it's similar. If you're kind of have too much to drink. Too much to drink, Zelda, then you can actually mess it up. That's Bobby Sherman there on Autumn Records. Come On and Swim is the name of the tune. Let's continue here. Let's go up to Detroit, Michigan for this gal. She is the younger sister of recording artist J.J. Barnes, who recorded for Fred Brown's McKay's label, but was able to get his sister signed to that label where she had her first release, but this is her third overall release that came out on the Coral label. I have that record by her on McKay's label, but this one's on Coral Records. It's from August 1967. Give a listen to Orthea Barnes, the sister to J.J. Barnes. This is on Coral. It's called I Never Loved Nobody, parentheses, Like I Love You. Orthea Barnes. August 67 release there for Orthea Barnes. Orthea Barnes on the Coral record banner, I've Never Loved Nobody, parentheses, Like I Love You. What a cool tune that is. Well, we just heard the sister of J.J. Barnes. We're going to hear the brother of Orthea Barnes. And I didn't plan it this way, folks. This is the way it happened here. But here is the brother of Orthea Barnes. I'm talking about J.J. Barnes as we stay in Detroit, Michigan. But this is on the Revelot record label. He was born James J. Barnes, and his first release came out in 1960 on the Cable label, with lots of releases on different labels, of course, on Rich, on McKay's, Scepter, Ring, Rick Tick, Groovesville, and this is his second of 4 on the Revelot record label, and it's a tune that he wrote. This charted number 37 on WABQ out of Cleveland, Ohio, May 1968. Give a listen to J.J. Barnes on the Revelot record label. It's called Sad Day Coming.
Tossing a turn all night, and my heart couldn't get right. Loneliness every
wasn't at home. Ooh, baby, I'm losing you in my heart. I know it's true, 'cause I feel a sad day coming. You're taking your love from me. I feel a sad day coming. You're taking your love from me. Oh, baby. Now my mind is in a state of confusion. 'Cause your love I don't want to lose 'em. But they sure there's a living breeze slowly getting away from me. Love is gone and now I know it's true. There ain't nothing that I can do. I can't find the words to say keep you from going away. 'Cause I feel sad day coming. You're taking your love from me. I feel a sad day coming. You're taking your love from me. Oh, baby. Don't leave me, darling. Please, oh baby. I feel a sad day, yeah. Please don't leave me. Feel a sad day coming.
That's the sound of J.J. Barnes here on the All 60s edition. J.J. Barnes, May 1968, Revelot Records out of Detroit. Sad Day Comin' is the name of the tune. As we continue here on the All 60s edition, for this next singer, started with a group called The Gainers. He was the lead singer of that group from, I think, 1958. They recorded out of Philadelphia on Red Top and also on the Cameo record label Tally-Ho Records. But then he left the group. He formed another group called the Enchanters, had a big hit in 1963 called Cry Baby. But then the group split up and he went solo in 1964. He had a number 30 Billboard hit with I'll Take Care of You, I think that should be, on United Artists in 1966. But here's his first of three on the subsidiary label to United Artists, that being the Veep label, V-E-E-P, Veep Records. And this tune, written and produced, written by him and produced by Jerry Ragavoy. And this one from June of 1968. This charted number 29 on WLOF up in Syracuse, New York. June 65. Give a listen to Mr. Garnett Mims. Garnett Mims on the Veep label. The tune is one word. It's called Thinkin'. Thinkin'.
It was always you and me. Loving you was easy then. Baby, wasn't I good to you? Baby, what did I do to make you leave me? Oh, baby, I said, baby, it's hard for me, without you. Thinking how it used to be, baby. It was always you and me. Loving you was easy then. I remember walks on a hillside. I'd pick a flower for your hair. I remember the the nights that you cry. I'd dry your tears and show you how much I care. Oh, baby, you are the one I believe in. Baby, baby, nothing relieves the pain I'm feeling. Oh, baby, I said, baby, it's hard for me, lonely without you. Thinking how it used to be, baby. Keep on thinking how it used to be, baby. I can't stop thinking how it used to be, baby. Keep on thinking, yeah, how it used to be, baby.
That's the first of 3 on the Veep label from Mr. Garnett Mims. Garnett Mims from June 66. Song entitled Thinkin'. Now, if you're thinking you can easily find all these records, it's a lifetime. This is a lifetime. Johnny G's been collecting since I was in high school. And then I graduated class of 76. So I didn't really have a lot of money at the time. So I used to do garage sales and flea markets and thrift shops, and that's when record collecting was fun. But then when you start to, when I went to college, I wanted to be an accountant. Now that's ending, finally, after all these years since I was out in the workforce. I graduated in 1980, but then I started making a little bit more money. Then I started to pay for some more expensive 45s. And really, I'm telling you, my father used to yell at me because I should have been doing something else and I wasn't. So I was always searching for records, and I was auctions and set sales and record shows and friends and trading and a whole bit. You can actually become you get mesmerized. And I can tell you, when I started going to the Allentown show, it would actually be overwhelming. And it was a couple weeks ago. I think Andrew Turner in our YouTube chat room, he went there, but he only saw one vendor. I used to try to see all the vendors there, and it was just too much because I'd go there with a wad of money in my pockets. My pants would be bulging in my pockets there, and I'd have cash because the guys wanted cash, and I'd spend it all. If I went there with 10 grand, I would spend it all by the end of the day. But it was a lot of fun, and if I want to go there, if anything, to at least socialize, because a lot of my listeners, that they do collect and they end up there at that show from all over. But anyway, as we get off on a tangent, but back to the 45s here, as we go back to Detroit, Michigan for this female trio that consisted of Regina Wood, Bobby Hemmett, and Rosemary Green. And they had this lone release that came out on the Tri-Sound label. Now, interestingly enough, the song was written by Robert Eaton, and it was produced by Robert Eaton and Richard Knight, and they both were members of the Brothers of Soul. They have some cool releases on the Boo label, but this one's on the Tri-Sound label, released in November of 1966. They're called The Devotions. These are girls, The Devotions, and the song is called Same Old Sweet Lovin'.
Waiting for you, baby. I'm waiting for
That group called John G getting confused here. Those are the Devotions there, not the male group. This is a girl group out of Detroit, November 1966 on the Tri-Sound record label, Same Old Sweet Lovin'. And if you're looking for 45s, I know a lot of my listeners are collectors. There's still some outlets out there that you can contact to sell records. And one of them is, I think it's, Louis, correct me if I'm wrong, is it timesquarerecords.com? I think you can also call Louis up or call his assistant up to see if he has records in stock. And I know Louis Sylvan. He's in our chat room tonight. So welcome, Louis. I want to welcome you to the Vinyl Treasure Show. I know Louis going back a long time ago because I used to visit his store in Dobbs Ferry, New York. And at the time, I was good friends with Louis' helper. It was Glenn Fousel. Glenn Fousel. I actually did a big trade with Glenn. I traded him some LPs. He was a big Beatle collector, so he wanted my Beatles versus the Four Seasons LP. And I didn't have the poster. It comes with like a poster, but he took some other LPs. I had Tony Sheraton and the Beatles. I had the Turtles. I had a bunch of stuff and a little bit of cash. And he traded all his 78s. I went over his house. I looked at his 78 collection, and they were store stock. I don't know where he got them, but they were like Ramas. These are labels now. Those of you that don't know, Rama, G, End, Gone, all Savoy, the Larks are on. What is that yellow label the Larks are on? Lloyd's, the Luna, all these cool records, and some oddball things too, but really in nice shape. So he says I got a deal eventually. Unfortunately, Glenn is not with us anymore. It's an unfortunate thing, but I used to go into Glenn on a Saturday. Well, I would get up, I would work all week, I'd go into Louis' store on Saturday, and Glenn would have to go to the post office. Then I had the Silver Kreider book, if those of you that are familiar with the Kreider Bible, the record guide. So he would be behind the counter, and I would read records that I was missing on the Kreider book. So they'd be like, okay, I need the Dominoes number 120051. And he says, well, we got it in stock. It costs $125. I said, wait a minute, it's in the book for $50. He goes, well, find it somewhere else. So I would end up buying it. And then I would work the remainder of the week, and I would go in, I think, on Thursday night, because Louis at the time had Greg Surik working for him, and he would come up with the records, and I would pick the records up. If it wasn't then, he would leave them there for Saturday pickup. I think it was Thursday, and he'd stay open late till I would drive over from White Plains. And then I think one of the times when I spent the first time I spent four figures on a 45, it was at the Waterbury, Connecticut show, and Mike Demersion showed me a 45 by the Ebb Tides on the Teen label, and for collectors of 1950s vocal groups, you're going to know this song. It's What Is Your Name, Dear? The flip is great, too. So he goes, Johnny, if you want this record, I need $1,500 for the 45. So that was a lot of money for me back then. It was a lot. So I paid it, and I was at the store, and I don't know if Glenn was talking to Louis or he found out. He spoke to me. Was like, I have to talk to John. He picked up a great record by the Ebb Tides. You don't see that record all the time. But anyway, that was a cool time, Louis, that we spoke then, because it was a thrill for me. And of course, all these years later, I have a lot of records. The things I need are expensive, mostly on the 50 stuff. But I ventured into, soul records also. So that's, basically, and buying everything. I was collecting labels, and just was a lot of fun. And it was a lot of fun back then. Now it's kind of hard to find a lot of these records as I babble on here. But let's continue here. Up next, a trio of brothers. They were originally from Illinois, but they settled out in Los Angeles, California. They were Lanny, Robert, and Charles Duncan. And I think two of the brothers, they wrote the instrumental. I'm sure many of you know the instrumental by the Routers called Let's Go. Well, they wrote that song. And they also had a couple of releases on the Capitol record label. Let's give a listen to their first. That charted number 14 on WBEE in Chicago, Illinois. We go back to April 1966. Here are the Duncan Brothers. The Duncan Brothers on the Capitol label. It's called Things Go Better with Love. Things go better with Coca-Cola. Yeah, Daryl mentioned that. That's what I think when I hear that. But anyway, that is a cool tune by the Duncan Brothers, April 1966. Came out on the Capitol record label, their first of two. Their other one is good too, which I think I featured here on one of the Monday nights. That's Things Go Better with Love. That's the A side. I think the flip is good too, by the way. And Lanny Duncan also has actually some pretty good record on the Candix label, maybe from 62 or 63. But anyway, that's a cool tune. Let's continue here. Let's go out to the West Coast to the Omen record label. I don't know anything about this group, but the tune is written by Norman Drake and produced and arranged by Miles Grayson. And I'm thinking I have a record by Miles Grayson on Keen Records out of California, I think. But this is on a West Coast label, Omen Records, July 1964. This group is called The Professors. The Professors, and there's something in parentheses here, and the Wolf. The name of the tune is called Little Red Riding Hood, parentheses, and the Wolf. These are The Professors.
That big bad wolf is on
That group known as the Professors. That's on the Omen label, Omen number 4. Not many releases on that Omen label, but that's July 64, the Professors. Song entitled Little Red Riding Hood, parentheses, and the Wolf. It's the name of that one. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition. This singer, he's from, is it Elonia, Georgia? I think if I said that right, Daryl. His real name is Curtis Futch Jr., and he was a member of the 1950s vocal group called the Capitals on the Pet label. But how did it end up in Pet Records? Is out of New York, though. But anyway, then he went solo in 1962 as Kurt Harris with releases on the Josie label. Yeah, that's him, with releases on the Josie label and the Diamond label. Then in 1966, he changed his name to Curtis Scott. But this is Curtis Scott, but it says Curtis Harris on here, Charlene. Anyways, from August 1966, this is on Don Roby's Sure Shot Records out of Houston, Texas. And give a listen to Kurt Scott, a.k.a. Kurt Harris, on the Sure Shot label. It's called No, No, Baby.
I wanted you so bad, but you keep on saying no, no, baby, no, no, baby, no, no, baby, no, no, baby. I don't want no one else, nobody but you, girl. Oh no, I just can't help myself when I'm with you, girl. I love you from the start. Why take it out on my heart and then say no, no, baby, sweet agitated. Get yourself straight, see you a little later. I like your style, girl. Don't you know you got a style that would make a man walk for miles? You know the bare bottoms that you wear, I know you out, girl, yeah. The way you wear your hair, they're not out of sight, girl. Now you promised me a date, but still you hesitate and tell me, no, no, baby, sweet agitator, little straight, much, much later. Oh, I need your loving so bad. No, no, baby, sweet agitator, get yourself straight, see you a little later. Let me know, little girl, why you keep on treating me like a stranger when I've been after you for such a long time. Oh, baby, don't keep on saying no.
That's Mr. Kurt Scott, a.k.a. Kurt Harris. That one there, August 1966, released on Sure Shot Records. Yes, Daryl. The Don Roby owed the Sure Shot record label also, as he also owned Backbeat Records. But No, No, Baby is the name of the tune. And Kurt Harris, of course, has a great record called The Emperor of My Baby's Heart. That came out on the Diamond record label. That's a good 45. Have featured it here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's continue now for this next gal. Started recording back in 1961. She had a release on the Laurie record label. Then in 62, I think one came out on Corvair. But then she had 2 releases on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. And on the Roulette releases, she was known as on those releases, she was known as Elaine. But she had 2 on, wait a minute here, 2 on Roulette. On those releases, she was known as Elaine. Then she had 1 final release. So she had 3 releases in all on Roulette. And her last one, she was known as Elena. That's how that should have been. But anyway, this song charted here in New York City. This was a number 51 record on WMCA out of New York City. It's from March 1965. Her first 2 releases were Elaine. Her last release, it was Elena. E-L-E-N-A. Interesting. But anyway, it's called Evening Time. This is by No, I think it's Elena. Elena. Sorry, folks. Johnny G losing his mind.
Evening time is the best time for making love. When the sun goes down and the moon comes up above. The daytime we can still our kids. Nighttime makes up for what we miss. Evening time is the best time for making love. Evening time is the best time to hold him tight. When the sky is blue and the stars are shining bright. The sun don't give us any chance. The moon brings out our true romance. Evening time is the best time for making love. There's no place that we can go until the sun goes down. But at night we'll find a place and no one else will be around. Evening time is the best time for making love. Evening time is the best time for making love. Evening time is the best time for making love. Evening time is the best time for making love. Evening time is the best time for making love. Evening time is the best time for making love.
March 65 release there on the Roulette record label. Elena. I don't know how to say that. Elena. Elena. I guess Elena there on Roulette Records. Evening time. That's what it is now. It is evening time as we continue here on the All 60s edition. And let's go to 1964 now. I can't tell you much about this singer, but he has two earlier releases back in 1961. One on the Gold Eagle label and then another one on Atco, which is pretty good. It's a song called It's Real. It's a nice ballad. But this is a later one that came out on the Emerson label, and he co-wrote this tune. His name is Tommy Knight with a K. Tommy Knight from March 64 on the Emerson record label. It's called Ha 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 and Oh Oh Oh. That's the title. Ha 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 and Oh Oh Oh. Let's give it a whirl.
Ha 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 ha. And oh Lordy, Lordy, Lord. And ha 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 ha. And Lordy, 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 Lord. You know I looked over yonder and tell me what did I see? I saw my baby, my baby, my baby waving bye 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 to me. I can't take it no more. No, no, no. And I can't take it no more. I can't take it, I can't take it, I can't take it, Lordy, Lord. And ha 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 ha. And Lordy, Lordy, Lord. And ha 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 ha. tell you how I feel. I wanna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you with all of my heart. And I don't care what the people may say, yeah. And I don't care what the people may say. I'm gonna love you, love you, love you, love you, love you in your way. And and oh, Lordy, Lordy, Lord. And and Lordy, 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 Lord.
That's Mr. Tommy Knight. Tommy Knight there from March 64. It's on the Emerson record label. Ha 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 and Oh 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 is the name of that one. Anyway, let's continue here. Let's go back up to Chicago, Illinois for this girl group as they initially recorded as the Lovettes back in 1963 on the Checker record label. Then they changed their name to the Gems, and they had 6 releases on, I guess we can call it, the parent label, Chess Records. Leonard Chess, owner of both Chess and Checker Records. And this song was first done as by the Lovettes in August of 1963, and then they re-released it, probably as a flip side. This is probably not the A side. I didn't check the other side here, but I guess this is a re-release of it as the Gems in February of 64. Now the lead on this, her name is Jessica Collins. She's the lead singer here for this group called the Gems out of Chicago. February 64 version of this, originally in 63. And this is on Chess. It's called Love of Mine.
I never thought he would be a love of mine. Ever since I saw you walking that day, I never thought your love would come my way. But baby, baby, you know you look so good. I tried to get you every way I could. I never thought he would be a love of mine. You had your pick of every girl around, from the finest one right on down. Most of them were much more prettier than I. So why did you choose me? Why? I never thought he would be a love of mine. I never dreamed, no, I never dreamed. 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 I never dreamed he would be love of mine. You had your pick of every girl around, from the finest one right on down. Most of them were much more prettier than I. So why did you choose me? Why? I never thought he would be love of mine. I never dreamed, no, I never dreamed. 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 I never dreamed, no, I never
February 64 release for the Gems there, although that was released originally August 63 on Checker Records as the Lovettes. This is probably a B-side here by the Gems. Chess Records, Love of Mine is the name of that one. Let's move on here. Let's go back up to Detroit for this group from Livonia, Michigan. And this is on the Impact record label. And this group had 5 releases on this label. And you may know their biggest hit. It was their first tune. It was a song called Oh How Happy. It made it up to number 13 on Cashbox, box 12 on the Billboard label. But did you ever play the B-side of that 45? And we're going to give a listen to it right now, tonight here. And let's give it a spin here. The lead singer on this, his name is Nick Marinelli. And this one is from March 1966. So if you have the 45, Oh How Happy on the Impact record label, you're going to turn it over and you're going to hear this flip side. These are the Shades of Blue. The Shades of Blue with Nick Marinelli on lead on Impact Records. It's called Little Orphan Boy.
The Sandman's coming soon. He'll vanish all your cares away, bring you dreams of a better day. There's a palace and you'll be king, with golden wings and fancy things. There's a better day on its way. Is that a tear in your eye? Young man, big boys shouldn't cry. I know it hurts so bad, all the heartaches that you have had. There'll be ladies dressed in white, King Arthur's court and you'll be knight. There's a better day on its way. Someday when you're a man, maybe then you'll understand just why you're all alone, just why you got no home. Dry your eyes, my little man, and set your mind at ease. The Sandman brings from above all your mommy and daddy's love. So why not fill your mind with growing up and happy times? There's a better day on its way.
B-sides here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Those are the Shades of Blue. That is the flip side, the B-side to Oh How Happy, song entitled Little Orphan Boy, released in March of 1966 on the Impact record label. Let's continue here for this next group out of Worcester, Massachusetts. You may know their big hit. They call it, well, I guess, you know, people would call them a one-hit wonder. They do a tune called Can't Find the Time. Came out on the MGM record label. But here's another one. I think they have quite a few releases on MGM, but really only one hit. And I don't know why you would, I guess you can call them a one-hit wonder if nothing else charted. I don't think this charted either. But the tune is written, produced and arranged by Alan Lorber, and it was written by Larry Weiss and Jimmy Williams. This one is a touch of the 70s. This one came out in July 1970, although it doesn't really sound like a 70s tune, at least to me. Now, the title is interesting because those of you that know Johnny G personally, at least when I was in high school, you know, when you start to you really start to sprout up. I don't know if you're a sophomore or whatever, but I always had trouble finding like dress shoes when I was in high school because Tom McCann. We had a local shoe store. It relates to this song, by the way. We had a Tom McCann shoe store here in my town. So I would go in there and I said, what do you have? Thank God my foot stopped growing at size 14. I said, what do you have in size 14s? And I need a dress. I'm going to graduate and I need a dress shoe. Because I didn't wear a dress shoe up in that point. He goes, well, the only thing we have are Converse sneakers. And we only have in your size, we do have a 15 and a 14, but they're high top red. I says, I can't wear that at the graduation. You have nothing else that well, we have one more shoe. We have penny loafers. I said, are you kidding me? That's all. So I ended up buying a pair of penny loafers, size 14, because I couldn't find my shoe size. Of course, it got a lot easier. I went to Florida when I first started working out in the white collar world of accounting, and you had to wear a suit and tie every day for many, many years. Nobody wears that anymore. But you had to get dressed up in a suit and tie, and I had to wear floor shine. What do you call those shoes? Wingtips. Those wingtips. Then I was able to get a size 14. But there's a lot of leather in a size 14, I'm telling you, and they were not cheap, these Florsheim shoes, and lots of leather on those wingtips. But it relates to this Orpheus tune from July of 1970. Give a listen to Orpheus on the MGM record label. The name of the song, it's called By the Size of My Shoes.
I've been called everything that a man can be called, and as much as I love one is as much as I love all. I can't change myself, I must wear the skin that I'm in, and undress myself of fear, and throw caution to the wind. Gonna travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes. Travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes. Got nothing to lose. Got nothing to lose. I won't be tied down by shackles of complacency. I'm gonna walk through this God-given life, giving with the best of me. I will follow the eagle, but travel with the sign of the dove. And with a striking force of one, and some help from up above, I'm gonna travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes. Travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes. I got nothing to lose. Got nothing to lose. I'm gonna travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes. Travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes. I'm gonna travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes. Travel this earth and make my name by the size of my shoes.
Touch of the 70s here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, July 1970 for that release. Orpheus is the name of the group on the MGM record label. By the Size of My Shoes. Mine is a 14. Maybe a little bit, I can use a little bit, and not triple E either, double E, I guess. But you never know, it could be triple E as we babble on here. But let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, as this is our a fundraiser month here on Oldies and More Radio, so it'd be kind of you to support us if you can. And Oldies and More Radio brings you the best music from the 50s, 60s, and early 70s, 24/7, 365 days a year. And the station is entirely supported by you, our listeners, and all the DJs and staff volunteer their time. Our only source of support is donations from our listeners, donations that will pay for the fees for the music we play, along with our website, chat room, web hosting, and rental of our radio server. At this time, we can accept donations by check or money order. You can mail them to Oldies and More Radio, 165 Colby Avenue, Colby Avenue in Syracuse, New York. That's 13206, 13206. Or you can PayPal it to us by going to our webpage at www.oldiesandmoreradio.com. And any support is welcome. Any amount is welcome. If you can't send anything, you're 100% welcome to listen and join us in the chat room and tune in to the Vinyl Treasure Show. Thank you and welcome to Oldies and More Radio. So let's continue here with more cool 45s out of Johnny G's collection as we go back to Detroit for this next singer. He was discovered by Robert West and William Schofield, and label owner Don Roby was very smart with setting up satellite offices in major cities, and he owned not only this label, Peacock Records, I mentioned Backbeat, so there you go, Daryl, Peacock Records, Backbeat Records, and this label, Sure Shot Records. And this singer had 6 releases on Sure Shot Records. This is his 5th. This charted regionally. This was number 21 on WAME in Miami, Florida. I have to ask Miami Santi, was that a big station down in Miami? WAME. This was a number 21 record on that station. September 66, give a listen to Bobby Williams. Bobby Williams on Sure Shot Records. It's called Baby, I Need Your Love. That's Bobby Williams. Bobby Williams on Sure Shot Records. That's his 5th of 6 on Sure Shot from September 66. Baby, I Need Your Love is the name of that tune. I got a request here for my listener Cheryl Morgan. She requested this quintet that formed while they were enlisted or stationed at the U.S. Marine Corps based in North Carolina. The base there in North Carolina in 1962. They had 6 releases on Morris Levy's Roulette record label. Their first release went all the way to number 1. I'm sure you know the tune. It was called Easier Said Than Done. But Cheryl requested the flip side of that. The flip side of that 45. And it charted regionally. It was a number 23 record on WHLO in Akron, Ohio. So that some of the disc jockeys did play the flip side of that hit, as I normally did sometimes to test out the market there. But the lead singer on this is Anita Humes. Anita Humes on lead. These are the Essex, going out to Cheryl Morgan, May 63 on Roulette. It's called Are You Going My Way? For Cheryl. B-sides here on the All 60s edition of the Vinyl Treasure Show. That's for Cheryl Morgan. Listeners sent Johnny G an email at vinyltreasures@aol.com. You can send me your requests there. Vinyltreasures@aol.com. May 63, B-side there by the Essex, Anita Humes and the Essex on Roulette Records, the flip of Easier Said Than Done. Are You Going My Way? You can go Johnny G's way every Monday from 8 to 11 right here on Oldies and More Radio. Also, you can watch me live. Watch me as I put these 45s on and off the turntable. Drives me crazy, but that's how you got to do it on YouTube. You can check it out, Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show. Let's move on here as we go to Brooklyn, New York for this next artist. He was a member of the Jive 5, Eugene Pitt and the Jive 5s. He was a member of that group, and he had a solo release that came out in 1962 on the Mary Mac label. Mary Mac label, and which is out of New York. His real name is Thurman Billy Prophet, but he recorded as Billy Prophet, and this one from September of 62. Let's give it a spin here. Billy Prophet on the Mary Mac label. It's called Puppet on a String.
know you love me so, or I've gotta let you go. You better hurry up and touch me in my face. Put your lips to my face. I feel your love growing cold. I said I got to have your warm embrace. Lord, 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 Lord. Got to have your warm embrace. I remember when you used to call me your lover boy, and you never, never told me a lie. But my how the time changed. You don't even call my name. Darling, I wanna know why. Yeah, 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 yeah. Am I still your guy? If I am
September 62 release there for Billy Prophet. Billy Prophet, he was a member of the Jive 5, and he had a couple of solo releases. This one's on the Merrimack label. It's called Puppet on a String. He has one more on the Sue label that's pretty good that came out in 1965. As we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and I don't know much about this one. Maybe Mark Speck knows about this next group, but they have two other releases. I think one on the a Cotillion label and another one on the Decanter label, but this is on the Port Records, subsidiary I think of Jubilee Records. It really was known for a lot of 1950s vocal group reissues, but there were some cool original compositions by singers and artists on this label that are fairly good, like this one. I like this record from late 1966. It's by the Chris Towns Unit. The Chris Towns Unit on Port Records, and the song is called Turn to Me. Chris Towns Unit, Turn to Me.
If this love is growing colder and things are wrong, girl, lay your head upon my shoulder and I'll be strong. No matter what may be your problem, together we can always solve it.
Johnny G get. Sorry about that, folks. Gotta fix my mother's tablet here as I got lost in the sauce here. Anyway, that's a cool tune there. Chris Towns' Unit there, late 1966 release on the Port record label, song entitled Turn to Me, as she is doing it. Well, this up next, the group out of Philadelphia, PA, were formed by Weldon McDougall, started recording for the Cheryl record label back in 1961. They were called the Larks back then. With a couple of personnel changes, they would later record as the Four Larks, and they signed with Tower Records in 1967. And here's the B-side to their first of three that came out on the Tower label, written and arranged by Tommy Bell. And it features a female lead on this. Her name is Vivian McDougall. She's the lead singer and the second wife of the founding group member, Weldon McDougall. This one from September 67. Let's give a listen to the Four Larks on the Tower label. It's called Another Chance. That group called the Four Larks. Four Larks from September 67. Another Chance is the name of the tune. Came out on the Tower record label. Now that is Vivian McDougall, the wife of Weldon McDougall. Now Weldon McDougall's first wife, her name was Cleopatra. She recorded Heaven Only Knows, a rare 45 from 1961 maybe, on the Cheryl label, with the Larks backing her up, uncredited though. I have to pull that out for my Saturday night show. But let's continue here on the All 60s edition for this next singer from Monroe, Louisiana. His name is Sam McLean, but he recorded as Mighty Mighty Sam, and he had 8 releases on the Amy record label. This is his 4th, an Oldham pen penned tune, and this one here from March of 1967. Let's give it a spin. Mighty Sam on Amy Records. It's called I Need a Lot of Lovin'.
I need a lot of good loving every day. Sure enough I do. Yes, I need a lot of good loving in every way. Every minute, every hour, your love, baby, gives me power. Yes, I need a lot of good loving every day. And I require a million kisses every night. Yes, I require a million kisses every night. A lot of kisses when the sun goes down. And darling, I'm so glad you're around. Oh, I need a lot of good loving every day. Oh, I need your arms around me, baby, all the time. 'Cause the love that you give me, baby, make me feel so fine. And all I need a lot of good loving every day. Lord have mercy. Yes, I need a lot of good love in every way. A love that's sweet and warm. I need a love that'll make me strong. Yes, I need a lot of good love every day. Oh yeah. Lord, I need a lot of good loving every day, every minute, every hour. Yes, I need a lot of good loving every day. Mama, oh yeah, yes, I need a lot of good.
March 1967 there. Nice tune by Mighty Sam. Mighty Sam on the Amy record label, his 4th of 8 on the Amy label. Song entitled I Need a Lot of Lovin'. Yeah, that is true as we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Now, this next singer, he is from Washington, D.C., and he was half of the duet Peaches and Herb. If you remember, Peaches and Herb had a lot of hits in the mid-1960s, actually into the, I think, early 70s. But Herb Fame's his name. He had some solo releases. And the cool thing about this one, this record, is it was written, produced, and arranged by Van McCoy. That's another name you want to look for on the 45. And this charted number 9 on WJLB out of Detroit, Michigan. This is from April 1966. Give a listen to Herb Fame, a solo effort by Herb Fame on Date Records. It's called You're Messin' Up My Mind.
There's something about you that I can't explain that makes me come a-running when you call my name. There's something you got, babe, I don't understand, that makes me like putty in the palm of your hand. You got me
That's a solo release by Herb Fame. Herb Fame, of course, half of that duet, Peaches and Herb, recorded on the Date record label. April 66 release, You're Messin' Up My Mind is the name of that tune. Let's continue here on the All 60s edition for this next gal. And she goes by the name of Gladys on this 45, but her real name is Gladys Patrick. And she started out as a blues singer back in 1954, recording for MGM Records. She also recorded as a Gay Jameson, and she also recorded as Gladys Glad Rags Patrick back in the 1950s. I have featured her on my 50s program, but this is the first of two that she does on a label called OG Records, and the OG label is out of New York. I noticed here last minute, arranged by Robert Banks. Robert Banks, he was a member of the Four Fellows, also the husband to Bessie Banks. Some of you may know Bessie Banks. She sang the original version of Go Now on the Tiger label. But this gal, her name is Gladys. This one came out in 1967. It's Gladys Patrick on the OG record label. The name of her tune is called one word. It's called Love.
Just one more kiss, love, must I insist? Ooh, love, I can't resist you, love. Oh, how I need you, need you. I get such chills, love. Oh, what a thrill, love. My heart stood still. Love. Oh, how I need you, need you. Just one look. You didn't believe me, I was hooked. Why did you leave me in your book? You didn't need me. Love, 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 please let it be. Love for you and me. Love, we can agree. Ooh, love. Oh, how I need you, need you. Whoa, oh, oh. Just one look. You didn't believe me, I was hooked. Why did you leave me in your book? You didn't need me. Love, 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 please, please let it be. Love for you and me. Love, we can agree. Ooh, love. Oh, how I need you, need you. Please let it be. Love for you and me. Love, we can agree. Ooh, love, love, love. I get such chills, love. My heart stood still.
That's Gladys is her name, but it's really Gladys Patrick. 1967 on the OG record label, song entitled Love. That's what Johnny G does every Monday night from 8 to 11 p.m. I just love my 45s. I have a passion for music. Don't tell my girlfriend, but I have a passion for music. Yes, I do, if you can't tell. But let's continue here for this next singer. He's originally from Houston, Texas, started recording back in 1956 for ABC Paramount Records and had a couple of national #1 records. I'm sure many of you know his 1968 release on the Jad label. It was called Hold Me Tight. My aunt bought that 45 back in 1968. And in 1972, I bought this 45. It was called I Can See Clearly Now. That was on the Epic record label. But here's one from February 1967, his second of three on MGM Records. This was produced and arranged by Bert Keys. This charted number 25. This was a number 25 record on WBEE in Chicago, Illinois. We go back to February 67 for Mr. Johnny Nash. Johnny Nash on MGM. It's called Good Goodness.
Sugar and spice and everything nice. Good goodness. Yeah, nails and snails and puppy dog tails. Good goodness. Now what are little girls made of? Sugar and spice and everything nice. And what are little boys made of? Nails and snails and puppy dog. Yeah, that's what little girls and boys are made of. Ooh, good goodness. Now old Mother Hubbard, she ran to a cupboard to get a poor dog a bone. But when she got there, the cupboard was bare and the poor old dog had gone. Oh, but let's not make our love like Mother Hubbard's cupboard, leaving it so bad. No, baby, let's get together like birds of a feather. Good goodness. Cause sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will never harm us. Cause we found out what love's about comes from hearts that are made of sugar, spice, everything nice. Good goodness. Good goodness. Now sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will never harm us now. Cause we found out what love's about. It comes from hearts that are made of. Talking about hearts that are made of. Oh baby, sugar and spice, everything nice. Good goodness. Good goodness. Sugar and spice and everything nice. Oh, good goodness. Good goodness. Ooh, good goodness. Nails and snails and dog tails. Sugar and spice.
That's Mr. Johnny Nash here on the All 60s edition, second of three. On the MGM record label, February 67 release, Good Goodness is the name of that one, MGM Records. We continue here for this next group as we go back to Chicago, as this group originally recorded in 1962 as Z Majestics. I have that 45. It's not that easy to find in that Z Majestics 45. They do that's a great group sound on the Fox label. They have another release on the Sign label, which was eventually picked up by ABC Paramount Records now later in 1962. But then they moved to Smash Records and changed their name to The Trends. And in 64, they released two more before they signed back with ABC Records in 1965, where they released seven. And this is their fourth release. Now, their fifth release is, I think, an in-demand record. I was talking to my other DJ buddy, Mr. Dave the Rave. I said, you got this 45 by The Trends. It looks like it sells for like $1,500. And he didn't have it, and I'm not sure if I have it. I could, because I don't know what I have in my stash. But I listened to this side, and I thought it was pretty good, and I'm going to feature it tonight here. This is their fourth of seven on the ABC record label. They're called The Trends. And this was a number 11 record on WMPP out of Chicago, Illinois. As we go back to May 1967, these are The Trends. Eddie Dunn, he's the lead singer. The Trends on ABC. It's called Check My Tears.
stripped my heart bare. It was another's love who caught your eye, my dear. My pillow is wet, it never dries. My eyes are like faucets, baby. The tears I can't hide. I think I better. I think I better. Shed my tears. Ooh, baby. I think I better.
That's the cool sound of the Trends here on the Vinyl Treasure Show. Also, those of you tuned into Oldies and More, we're going to send it out to DJ Scott K in our chat room. Scott, tell me when your show is on. Type it in that in the Oldies and More chat room there. I'll give it out here. And that's May 1967. The Trends with Eddie Dunn on lead on the ABC record label. Check My Tears is the name of that one. We are in the 1960s as we do it every Monday from 8 to 11. We can go overtime if we like, but let's continue here. And this group is from New York. They previously sang, these are girls, they previously sang as the Montells on the Golden Crest record label, also recorded as the Pussycats on the Keetch, Keetch label. I have that 45, by the way. And then they added a male and became the Witches and a Warlock. Now, the group was Glenda and Faye Barnes, Charlotte Parsons, and Raymond Berry. And they had singles on the Sioux City record label and one on the Calla label. And this one on the Bang record label. Did we go all the way around here? As the Witches. I guess they were known as the Witches first before all those Witches and Warlock records, so you'll have to excuse me for that. But anyway, this one from July 65. These are the Witches that eventually became the Witches and a Warlock when they added a male singer, but they are the Witches on this one on Bang Records. It's called She's Got You Now.
If I had played my cards right, I'd still be your girl. But a handsome guy that I met caught my eye. And turned out he was untrue. He left me sad kind of blue, and I lost you too somehow.
Those are the Witches. The Witches before they became the Witches and a Warlock, but that one there, July 1965 on the Bang record label, She's Got You Now. That is the female version of the song done by, I'm looking at Mark. Mark mentioned it. Actually, a remake of the Diplomats do a song on the A-Rock label, He's Got You Now. This is the female version of the song, She's Got You Now. And we continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and let's go out to the UK for this next 45. And this group is from Brighton, England. In 1967, they ended up, though, in California and teamed up with a couple icons from the 50s, Renee Hall and Ernie Freeman. Are they on here? Yes, they are. Yes, they are, Charlene. This is a copy of that other song, and who produced this tune. And this one arranged by Ernie Freeman. He's a guy out in the West Coast. This is their first of three on the ACTA record label, ACTA. And this charted number 40 on WJMO in Cleveland, Ohio. That's Mark Speck's station. This one from June 1967 for Bobby Sansom and the Light Years. I think on the other release, Charlene, it was another group. I forget their name, but they weren't called the Light Years. They were called something else. Might have been later. But anyway, it's on the ATCA label. It's called The Happiest Day of My Life.
You don't believe me when I tell you that I love you, baby. I love you with all my might. You don't believe me when I tell you that I think about you. I think about you day and night. If only you let me love you, kiss you and I squeeze you tight. It would be so wonderful. It would be so marvelous. It would be the happiest day of my life. Oh, yes it will. I'd try to take you out and down and see the very latest show. Yeah. You say you gotta study or you're babysitting all night long. If it ain't one thing, it's another. Without your love, the road gets tougher. Without your love, I just can't go on. Without your love, everything goes wrong. Without your love, my life is just a one sad song. You don't believe me when I tell you that I need you, baby. I need you, honey, yes I do. You don't believe me when I tell you that you're in all my dreams and every step I take depends on you. If only you let me love you, kiss you and I squeeze you tight. Yeah, it would be so marvelous. It would be so wonderful. It would be the happiest day of my life. If only you let me love you, kiss you and I squeeze you tight, yeah. Now it would be so wonderful. It would be so marvelous. It would be the happiest day of my life. All right, yes it will. Oh, the happiest day of my life, yeah. All right, yeah.
June 67 release there for Bobby Sansom and the Light Years on that one on the ACTA. Boy, Johnny G tongue-tied tonight. I am. The Happiest Day of My Life is the name of that tune. And it was the other group I was looking for is the Mouse Marks. That was the other one. Bobby Sansom's other group. Johnny G losing his mind. You know, it's too much work and not enough sleep. That's what it is. Let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasure Show for this next sax player That's interesting, Charlene. His name is Bobby Sax, and he's a sax player. I guess that's why they called him that. He's from Monroe, North Carolina. His name is really Robert Hughes, but he recorded as Bobby Sax. And his first release came out on the Rujak label in 1965. I wonder if I have that. And then he did two on this label, D Place Records. This is his second, and he co-wrote this song, and they actually performed this. Charlene found out that he performs this on YouTube and gives an interview. That's interesting, but it's from 1969, and it's Bobby Sax and his Housekeepers on D Place Records. It's called I've Got Someplace to Go. Let's give it a spin.
I got someplace to go, ain't nobody gonna stop me. I got someplace to be, ain't nothing gonna stop me. Feel it now, one time. Here I lay in my hospital bed, legs in the air and a bandage head. Drove away trying to be strong, ended up with the broken heart. My head hurts so bad, I can't even walk. I have someplace to go, I thought nothing was stopping. I have someplace to be, but that oxygen stopping. Baby, take me back. Baby, I'm gonna call her back.
Thought I was listening to Junior Walker there a little bit. His voice, though, not like Junior Walker, I'll say that. Bobby Sax and his Housekeepers, 1969 release on the D Place label, I've Got Someplace to Go. You always have someplace to go every Monday night from 8 to 11 right here on Oldies and More Radio. You can also watch Johnny G on the YouTube. You can see the live stream there. You can come back and see me on Saturday night from 10 to 1 a.m. and actually longer than that on my 1950s and early 60s show. Again, only original vinyl 45s. I don't play MP3s. I don't play CDs. I just play real vinyl and with scratches too. Anyway, let's continue here. We go to Philadelphia, PA for this next artist, first recorded on the Fairmount label, and that was his first release. This is his second overall release, came out on Crimson Records. His name is Damon Fox, and he co-wrote the tune. It was produced by Billy Jackson, arranged by Thomas Bell, and this charted on WMBM in Miami, Florida. No number there, though. This is from December 1967. Damon Fox on the Crimson label. It's called Gotta Get My Baby Back.
Oh, yeah. Hey, what's this thing? Sweeping the nation, it's got me in a bad situation. Can't get no sleep, can't get nothing to eat. I look for my baby, she's out in the street, she's going to Broadway. Yeah.
teeth. They're barefoot and baby, out in the street. They're going to Broadway, yeah, yeah. Funky Broadway, yeah, hey. Got to get my baby back. I gotta get her back. Funky Broadway, just don't do it like that. She's alright, yeah, she's alright. Hey, yeah, baby. Back again, I gotta try to get down with her friend. Cause that night started thinking, yeah, late now. And wicked Mr. Big and Juggy, all the way to that Broadway. Yeah, baby, that funky Broadway. Hey, baby, for that Broadway. Yeah, that Broadway, that dirty, filthy Broadway. Hey, baby, that funky Broadway. Driving me crazy.
December 67 release there for Damon Fox. That's his name on the Crimson label. Gotta Get My Baby Back. That is a definite for Johnny G. As we continue here on the All 60s edition for this gal. Her name is Jill Harris. She recorded 2 on the Capitol label. This is her second, produced by Robert Bateman. This charted number 29 on WITH out of Baltimore, Maryland. Now, supposedly, Cissy Houston is one of the background vocalists on this. And in 1968, the Sweet Inspirations also recorded this song for Atlantic Records, but this one is from January 65. Give a listen to Jill Harris. Jill Harris on the Capitol label. It's called You Really Didn't Mean It.
You told me that you love me, but you really didn't mean it. You really didn't mean it. You said that you couldn't stay away, but you really didn't mean it. Really didn't mean it. Well, let me tell you why you're just a runaround guy, and I should have known from the start. End up all alone with a broken heart. You whispered words of love, but you really didn't mean it.
That's the second of two on the Capitol label for Jill Harris. Jill Harris from January 65. It's called You Really Didn't Mean It. Did you really mean it? I don't know if you did. Anyway, let's continue here. And this next group, they're from San Gabriel, California. They had 4 releases on Eddie Davis's Pharaoh record label, which is out of Hollywood, California. You may know their biggest hit. The song was called Farmer Brown. Wait, their biggest hit was Farmer Brown. I thought it was Farmer John. It says Farmer Brown. This is their second release on the Pharaoh label, written by Chick Carlton. There's dual leads on this one. George Delgado, he's the guitarist, and the drummer here on this, John Perez. And the cool thing about it is their faces are all on the label. I showed you guys watching on the YouTube broadcast there. You saw the label there. But anyway, these are the premieres from February 64 on Pharaoh Records. It's called Little Ways.
Just to prove my love is right, and I work my fingers to the bone, just to build you a happy home. And if I gave you the world today, still it would never repay the kindness you gave. Kindness you gave in a little way, the love that you gave, love that you gave in a little way. I'm a slave, baby, for your love. This I swear, my stars above, and I love you till my dying day. No matter what your friend may say, and if I gave you the world today, still it would never repay the kindness you gave. Kindness you gave in a little way. The love that you gave, love that you gave in a little way. I'm a slave, baby, for your love. This I swear, my stars above, and I love you till my dying day. No matter what your friend may say, and if I gave you the world today, still it would never repay the kindness you gave. Kindness you gave in a little way. The love that you gave, love that you gave in a little way. You know I work, and slave. You know I slave, and slave.
Those are the premieres. The premieres there out of California there. Song entitled, I lost my place, Little Ways there, February 64 on the Pharaoh record label. Charlene had Farmer Brown there. That was a mistake. That's not my mistake. That's Farmer John. I have that 45. And they do great releases. I like that instrumental they do on Warner Brothers. What the hell is the song? It's a nice ballad with a nice sax break. It's pretty good. But those are the premieres, February 64 on Pharaoh Records, Little Ways. And got to do the public announcement one more time every hour, folks. For the month of April, I have to do it while on Oldies and More Radio, as I can't play MP3s. I got to read it. So Oldies and More Radio brings you the best music from the 50s, 60s, and early 1970s, 24/7, 365 days a year. And Oldies and More Radio is entirely supported by our listeners, and all the DJs and staff volunteer their time. Our only source of support is donations from our listeners. Donations will pay for the fees for the music we play, along with our website, chat room, hosting and rental of our radio server. At this time, we can accept donations via PayPal. If you go to the website www.oldiesandmoreradio.com, there is a button there to donate for PayPal, or you can mail it to Oldies and More Radio, 165 Colby Avenue. That is in Syracuse, New York, 13206. And anything you can give, it's welcome, and if you can't send anything, no worries. You're 100% welcome to listen and join us in the chat room or watch Johnny G on YouTube, either way. But to thank you, and hope you continue to listen to the shows here on Oldies and More Radio. Let's continue here as we're getting close to the end here, folks. We'll just do a little bit of overtime. I know that basketball game is on. All my listeners are watching that basketball game. I don't even know what the score is. But anyway, let's go to this gal. I think they're from Detroit. She was originally from Detroit. She was a member of the Adorables that recorded for the Golden World label back in 1966. But she had a solo release that later on came out on Golden World. And she did 4 on the Select label after that. But here's one on the Solid Hit label. And this was, I think this song was originally done. Mark, did the Skyliners do a song called The Loser first? Were they the first one to do it? This song, well, it says that she co-wrote this with Billy Jackson, I guess, but maybe this is the first. This one here from October 1966, Pat Lewis on Solid Hit Records. I thought the Skyliners did this first on Jubilee, but maybe she did it first. Let's give it a spin. Pat Lewis on Solid Hit. It's called The Loser.
Someone's got to win. Someone's got to lose. That's the way it's got to be. Someone's got to lose and end up with the blues. But why does the loser always have to be me? Someone's love will last. Someone's love will end. It's as simple as ABC. Someone's got to lose, and end up with the blues. But why does the loser always have to be me? All I'm asking is to let Lady Luck touch me one time, and maybe then I'll win back the love that was mine. Someone's got to lose, and end up with the blues. But why does the loser have to be? Oh, tell me why the loser
That's Miss Pat Lewis. Pat Lewis on the solid... I lost my place. Pat Lewis on the Solid Hit record label. That's her... Was that her first? She has another one on Solid Hit, I think. Pat Lewis there, October 66 release. Song entitled The Loser. Well, somebody's going to be the loser of that basketball game. As Daryl says that... you gave me the score there, Daryl. I think you did. What was it? I think... who was winning? North Carolina was winning? Let me see. Yeah, there it is. North Carolina 46, Kansas 41, but that was a few minutes ago. Anyway, let's continue here on the Vinyl Treasures show. We are actually going to be going in a little bit of overtime, we guess, which we always do, for this next singer. He's from Dewey Rose, Georgia, and first recorded back in 1963 on the Lucky label. Has also as a release on the Limelight label in 64, but here's his first of four on Blue Rock Records, and he co-wrote this tune here. Produced by Major Lance, arranged by Riley Hampton. This was from November 64. Give a listen to Otis Lavelle on Blue Rock. It's called When the Music Grooves.
Everybody starts to swing when they hear the music ring now. They're doing the ladies' dance, all mucking and the jerk now. But it just ain't right for you to sit tight. The music moves. We're gonna move. We're gonna move. We're gonna move. Now, Mr. Rhythm Section, come on and bring your rhythm to me. How about the great big brass? Oh, they know just what's missing. But when the music grooves, if you don't move, it just ain't right. Yeah, when the music grooves, if they don't move, it just ain't right. We gonna move all over Universal. I wanna do rehearsal. I wanna do the twist. I wanna do the jerk now. I wanna do the Watusi. I wanna do the monkey. I just wanna dance now. And every language, nation will be swaying to the music groove. Yeah, yeah.
November 1964 release there for Otis Lavelle. Otis Lavelle came out on the Blue Rock record label, song entitled When the Music Grooves. When the music grooves, it's time for Johnny G to go. That's going to do it for Johnny G and the Vinyl Treasure Show. I want to thank you for joining Johnny G, listening to original vinyl 45s out of my collection. Like I said, if you want to get in touch with me, you can send me requests at vinyltreasures@aol.com. If you missed any of the program, you can go to my website, vinyltreasures.net. There's a stream of the show there. You can stream it live or you can download it. If you want the visual on YouTube, you can go to Johnny G's Vinyl Treasure Show on YouTube. And if you're new to the program, if you like the program, subscribe to my channel so you get notifications to when I'm on live. Sometimes I do spontaneous shows where I'm testing records, and I get lots of requests from those tests sometimes from people that tune in. You don't have to watch it when I'm live, but you can see it on the archive if I don't have any copyright issues. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. tonight. I know there's a basketball game on. Maybe I'll catch the end of it here, and then I got work to do. I had a tough day today. So that's going to do it for tonight, folks. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. And we're going to close the show tonight with a hit. And actually, I love this gal from the UK. And she was originally a member of the Springfields, a folk trio that recorded for the Philips record label, but she left for a solo career, and right out of the box, her first release was a monster hit for her, number 14 on Cashbox, 12 on Billboard. Her real name was Mary O'Brien, but you know her as Dusty Springfield. It was unfortunate that she passed away. She passed away March 2nd of 1999. She was only 59 years old. She died of breast cancer. But again, she lives here on the Vinyl Treasure Show, and I love all her records, especially her early stuff. She is one of my favorite female vocalists. Our closer tonight is from January 1964, her debut solo release on the Philips label, Miss Dusty Springfield with I Only Wanna Be With You. And that's what I want to do every Monday from 8 to 11 right here on Oldies and More Radio, and also on YouTube. You can join Johnny G again on this coming Saturday at 10 o'clock right here on YouTube. We join Oldies and More Radio beginning at midnight. So I'll be on the Oldies and More network at midnight, but I'm on 2 hours prior here on YouTube. So thank you all for tuning in tonight. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you, Charlene, again for all your help. And everybody have a safe remainder of the week. And I'll see you either next Monday or on Saturday night. Just want to say, everybody, so long. Okay, folks, that sounds great on vinyl. That is the DJ copy, which is hard vinyl. It's not the crappy styrene. That sounds really good. This record, well, this is a styrene press. There you go. That's the Otis Lavelle that I played. When the Music Grew. See, that's got a B. See the BB hole in it? You know what that means? You know what those of you that don't know, the BB hole means they put a hole through it. That means it cannot be returned to the record company for credit. Because if record stores, if they didn't sell their records, what are they going to do with the old stock? They trade it back for credit. So they put a BB hole in it, so you can't send it back to the record company. And sometimes it'll say NR, non-returnable. They'll on the Motown releases, I think they write DR for those. That's what that means. You cannot return it back to the company. And here's the Dusty Springfield record. Just a great record by her. And see, this is the promotional copy. So whenever I see, when I see these promo copies of Dusty, I pick them up all the time. If they're $4 or $3 or $2, but they're nice to have. Any kind of Phillips record on vinyl is good to have. Anyway, that's it, folks. I'm gonna head out. I got work tomorrow. I'll see you guys on next Monday. If not, I'll see you on Saturday night for 1950s and early 60s. So long, everybody. Thanks again, Charlene. Bye-bye.